Good afternoon from the Universal Orlando parking garage. We're going in today because we have not been into the Halloween tribute store yet. So today, we're gonna go into the Halloween tribute store, possibly check out some of the treats, maybe get some food from around the park. You never know. The world is our palm tree, but for sure, we're doing the tribute store. So let's head inside. So tonight is a Halloween Horror Nights night, but we're going to the tribute store. Got the banners up, and we got the medallion in the front. You can see people are already waiting for the opening ceremonies down there. So we are headed back to the tribute store, and in case you're not sure, the tribute store is a store devoted to the season. In particular, this season is Halloween. So it is a Halloween tribute store. We're headed back through Minion Land, headed back to New York. Like I said, this is a Halloween Horror Nights night, and you can tell here Music Plaza is all set up with stanchions to house the lines. All right, now that we have made it into New York, we're headed into the tribute store. It says, Tribute General, open seasonally. This is a tribute to Halloween. So the idea behind this year's tribute store is that it is a comic book shop. You see they have a lot of different comic books in here, called McPherson's Collectibles, Cards, and Comics. So the name McPherson comes from Charlie McPherson, who was the third of Dr. Mary Agnes' patients, and Dr. Mary Agnes turned out to be Bloody Mary. He was a freelance photographer who was linked to several other characters in Bloody Mary's backstory, but was most importantly hired by Boris Schuster. And we'll learn a little bit more about Boris Schuster tonight too, because he does have an entire room in this tribute store. But upon Charlie McPherson's death, his ghost was trapped in the mirror, Bloody Mary's mirror, and was the photographer for the Dead Exposure haunted house that was featured during Halloween Horror Nights Reflections of Fear. As we're looking at the windows here for the tribute store, this is a comic book shop, and the thing that we're looking at is this right here. This is a Tribute to Terror, a collection of 4 horrifying stories, and if you remember, the tribute store is split into 4 different rooms. So, 4 different stories, 4 different rooms. That's what this comic book is all about. And if you see this character here on the front, with the sideburns there, that is the Curator. He is the original character that is here in the tribute store. And we can see a few other things here and there, like this tentacle that might make an appearance. This little skeleton guy, he might make an appearance in the tribute store. But without further ado, let's head inside. Here we are in the vestibule, and you can see there's a lot of collectibles. And this is a cash register. We've got a few other collectibles, some comic books on display. These are some more Easter eggs to various Halloween Horror Nights houses and events. And if I turn around, you can see we have the Curator. Here he is. And we are entering into the comic book. Just like that. It's like we're going into it. We're breaking through the front cover and heading in. And he is like our guide through these tales, telling the story. And if we go through and we read all of these different cutouts and all these speech bubbles, each room does have a story. So this one in particular is about Bernie and Jack. And we head into the Hollow Hills Cemetery first off. Oh yeah. So this is pretty neat, yeah. There they are, Bernie and Jack right there. The neat thing about this is, from listening to the podcast, we found out that all of the story is kind of 2D, but then the final character or their enemy that they're facing throughout this story is realized in 3D by the end of the room. And of course, because it is a tribute store, we still have merchandise everywhere. And as we start to look at some of the merch, we can start to see Dr. Oddfellow, who is the icon this year at Halloween Horror Nights. And it kind of looks like Bernie and Jack are grave robbers. And as we start to see them robbing the graves, they come in contact with an undead. And they're so scared, and there he is crawling out of the ground. And then we see, there he is also crawling out of the ground. Seems like there may be more than one. Bernie and Jack are saying, "Leave us be, what do you want from us?" And the giant skeletons, undead, are saying, "We want justice." That's what they want. Stop stealing from us. Another neat little fact about the tribute store is each of the display racks, or some of the display racks that have the merchandise, are fashioned to look like old ads that were in the comic books, like the back of the comic books from the 1950s and 60s. Exciting items for the whole family. There's a little boo. And so with that finale, we turn back to the Curator, and he ushers us into the next room. Looks like the dead weren't about to take their thievery lying down. And as soon as we go underneath him, we start to see, welcome to the Big Apple, the city that never sleeps. But that doesn't stop it from having its fair share of nightmares. Better beware, this is a story I like to call. And as we head into this next room, we transition to False Idols Part 1, A Boris Schuster mystery. One-way tunnel. Wait for a green light. And the green light is busted out. There's a creature here holding a newspaper that says more strange sightings in the city. Disappearings on the rise. Quite an interesting looking newsie. It's really neat the way that they made this look black and white, like it was a drawn black and white. Like take for instance, look at this fire hydrant right here. Amazing. Side note, this broken pole, I believe used to be in Sting Alley. And they took it out to use it here because Sting Alley now has a food location in it for Last of Us. Got a bunch of missing person posters up here. The city has a problem, a sickness, a plague, these creatures. Every day there are more of them. Not quite man, not quite fish. Something else. No one knows what they are or where they came from. I like it. It says, until finally there was a break. One that cost me a partner. A brother. Oh, I like this. Are we alone? Do time ghosts haunt our alarm clocks? Answers to this and more in this issue. So Boris Schuster is a private detective and Bloody Mary's nemesis. He was investigating the disappearance of a photographer who was one of Dr. Agnes' patients. He survived Bloody Mary's attack at the end and founded Legendary Truth The Collective. And just for your information, the Legendary Truth The Collective is the leading organization studying the evil that takes place at Halloween Horror Nights. I like this. I like that they're all over the place, but then I really like that it's like artist interpretation. This may not be what actual time ghosts look like. This is awesome because there is a projection here, then also on the ground. Oh, what's happening? Oh, there's a lady in there. Or is she walking around outside? She's walking by outside. I'd like to know how they did this because not only is it here on this, but it's synchronized with what's happening on the ground too. You can see there he's doing something. Oh, he's wiping off Schuster.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Oh no. And you can see she brings back the word. Also, I think this might be the first time that we learn that Boris has a brother named Jake, for that matter. Oh. Hate to break it to you, but Jake is dead. And with a bullet to the gut. Oh no. Oh, then she has a key. Ooh, what's gonna happen? She's walking, they're walking through the city, making their way. Oh, that's interesting because this is kind of like right outside. You can see the comic book shop right there. You can see Finnegan's right there. And there's the subway stop. How neat is that? Is that the Kitty Cat Club right there? I think it might be. Throughout the tribute store, there are also wax molds. This one happens to be for the Bride of Frankenstein. There she is. So they're walking. He says, but I believe we're being followed by this guy. That was the guy that was standing out front with the newspaper. And she says, undoubtedly. But they're heading, the key unlocks this locker right here. And I don't know if you remember, but a few weeks back, and we'll show it before the end of this video, but up in the window of Boris Schuster's window in the New York section of Universal Studios, this was sitting in the window a few weeks ago. So we've been all trying to figure it out from there on in, what this was. And there it is. We find out today what this does. I'd begun to decipher its inscriptions, but my work was interrupted. Oh, you better start talking, lady. How'd you get this thing? Oh no, and then we learn who is following them. See, boss, I told you she had it. They led us right to it. And this guy right here. Tell us, Miss O'Rourke. Oh, my associate here, Mr. Barnabas, has been on your trail for quite some time now. But he has one on his cane here. Oh, what's happening? And then the fish guy decides to jump at him. And Schuster pulls a gun. And the bullet goes through the fish guy and into this other man, the boss's shoulder. And he's wounded. Try all you want, you can't stop it. It's too late. He will reign again. Who will reign again? This guy. And then they're headed out of the subway. And they say, what is that? Oh my goodness. She says, quick, Boris, read the inscription on the idol. And he says, here goes nothing. And then, oh, tragedy ensues here, outside of Finnegan's. And it turns out, it was a fake. Oh no. And it just melts. Nothing is worse than getting put on the spot when you ain't got the goods. Can't wait to see how Boris gets out of this one, because this was part 1 of the story. See what happens in part 2. We won't get part 2 maybe next year? I don't know. Oh, and then they have it right here. What does it say? It says real New York souvenir, cheap. There it was. It was just a cheap trinket the Curator was selling. Also, another neat little effect that's happening in here is it's raining. And if you look down at the floor, it's raining on the floor as well. They also do sell masks inside of the tribute store, but you cannot wear a mask to Halloween Horror Nights or in the park, so these will be shipped up to the front for you. There's a little ratty right there. A little 2D rat. There's a little poster here for the Dead Coconut Drive-In all-night monster movie marathon. World premiere, Revenge of the Red Planet 3D. And so if you remember, out in City Walk, there is a club called the Red Coconut Club, but during Halloween, they always change it to the Dead Coconut Club. Heading into the hallway that connects us to the next room, Tribute to Terror, Hallway of Frights. And here is where people were able to buy a comic book and put themselves on the cover. Here we go, here's somebody that we know. This is Matt and Jackie from Attractions Magazine right there. We'll head into the next one. This one is called Pay Up. I like this. This is cool. He looks awesome here. Jim's Diner, a classic joint in a classic town. And then in rolled a motorcycle gang. There they are. The motorcycle. It's closed. Even though it says it's open 24 hours. He put it on. He said, oh no, the biker said it was closed. He said, good evening, gentlemen. Ooh, what's gonna happen next? How may I help you? So what's new here, old Jimmy boy? Oh, where's Jimmy boy at? Yeah, he didn't skip town on us, did he? Ooh, they're looking to cause some trouble, aren't they? Also in this room, the treats. Ooh, buddy. Three-eyed monster cookie ball. Bloody brain cheesecake. Wow. Planchette cookie. Cat cookie. Little Boo cookie. Chucky whoopie pie. Coffin brownie. Man, this looks like some delicious stuff. Ooh. Bat Slayer cake jar. I like that. Fireball and Chucky trifle cake. I feel like a Chucky trifle cake would be that one that Rachel made in Friends. Okay, so the motorcycle gang has a deal with Jim where he gives them whatever they want, and in exchange they don't rough up the place. And this new guy behind the counter is like, no, I understand. I'm just telling you, Jim's not here, man. He's a little bit old, but he left me in charge. But I'm also a tough guy. I don't take any gruff from nobody, even you youngins. And he said, you must pay. And then they start looking, and they say, hey, Pops, it's time to go. He puts his hand on his shoulder and says, are you deaf, man? Oh, no, it's Jim. That's what happened. Jim is not looking so good, and the guy behind the counter probably turns out to be, oh, no, bad guy, a demon man. Oh, there he is. There's Jim. Or is this another patron of Jim's Diner right here. He's getting a grilled cheese sandwich, and he spilled his chocolate milkshake and his coffee. Oh no. Sorry, bud. They also have a jukebox in here that's playing some swinging tunes from like the 60s. Got the Four Seasons in here, the Flamingos, Frankie Avalon. Maybe like the 50s, 60s, Richie Valens. Oh no. Not looking so good. He says it's time to pay up. Oh, the name of this was Pay Up. Okay, I get it. Oh no, there they are. This is what happened to the biker gang right here. They didn't make it through. Well, kids, looks like they had to pick up the tab on this one. Crime may not pay, but these criminals certainly did. One of the things they have for sale in here is a Chucky popcorn bucket, and you're supposed to be able to talk to it like, hey, Chucky. It might be too loud in here. See if we can... Hey, Chucky. Ooh. Oh, he's talking, but we can't hear it. Oh, my goodness. My goodness. What kind of ridiculous popcorn bucket? Wow. This was $44. This is wild. This is the wildest popcorn bucket I've ever seen. All right, and then we head into the last room. And this one is based off a comic book, or a comic called The Eyes of the Ripper, based on Jack the Ripper. Welcome, friends, to the Whitechapel district of London. The year is 1888, and I have a fiend I would like to introduce to you. Jack the Ripper. Oh, this art style is wild, isn't it? Wow, yeah, it's just telling the story of Jack the Ripper. You can buy the comic book that has all of these stories in it. I don't know, it doesn't say how much it is. Maybe it says on the front cover? I don't know. It doesn't say anywhere what the price is. So there's the shirt here, and then right next to it they have the poster that is on the shirt. I think it says, take a chance. Jack Schmidt. There it is. Dr. Oddfellows, Carnival of Thrills, Universal Halloween Horror Nights. Meaty Meats Burger, Pizza Fries, Twisted Taters, Wicked Growth Pumpkin Patch. That's fun. Some describe a ghostly black shadow that silently darts around the back alleys. This guy, Jack the Ripper.
So sorry.
Some speak of the glint of his razor-sharp blade that has slices through the night air. Others describe the strange sounds they hear in the dark. Some call them screams. Others describe them as sounding almost like cries of an animal. The one thing that almost all accounts have in common is the fierce and fiery eyes peering out from the shadows. The eyes of the Ripper. And look, there's his blade right there. And this is all the cash register out here to check out. And in between the last two over here, there he is, Jack the Ripper, way up high. Whether man or beast, he has never been caught, and to this very day, his identity is a mystery. So if you find yourself in the Whitechapel area, be sure to check down every alley, every doorway, and every corner, for you never know if the Ripper might still be lurking. There. He does kind of look like a mix between human and beast, doesn't he? Look at him. You know what he kind of looks like? He kind of looks like the leprechaun. And then after we see Jack the Ripper, and then there's the Curator at the end of it. He's got the rat on his shoulder. The rat from the second room. I wonder if the rat's in every room. Well, it sounds like old saucy Jack may still be hanging around some of his favorite old haunts. Better stay on your toes. You want to still be in one piece for our next chilling issue. And then as we head out, we're heading down out of the loading dock. And look at this. Changes from black and white back to color right there. And because we are in the New York scare zone, we can see right there, Summer Music Fest 69. Posters start showing up. There's also a Halloween Horror Nights or a Halloween Tribute Store coin. You can get 4 different designs on them. You can get Vecna, we can get Hellfire, we can get Chucky, and we can get Lil Boo. And then on the way out, we have a newsstand with a few more of these comic book covers. And I feel like maybe this is like the creative team that worked on this. And then our last view of the Curator. Right there. There he is, fully realized too. In 3 dimensions. Behind this glass. Kind of hard to see back there. Lots of little things. Definitely have to keep a lookout for various Easter eggs in these spaces as the event progresses and we start getting closer to Christmas time. We should start to see a few things here and there that will be Easter eggs or like hints as to what's coming for Christmas. Alright, we got a brownie. There wasn't any description of it other than brownie, so we're just going to give it a try. I think it is just like a brownie. Alright, let's give it a try. This is a Coffin Brownie. It's very dense feeling, like it's a heavy brownie. I'm inside the subway here. It's not a real subway, it kind of ends right here, but I'm down the stairs a little bit. That is a delicious brownie. It's so moist and fudgy. Wow, that is so good. I will be getting this more often. It's a perfect size, not too big, not too sweet. Nice and fudgy. I love it. I love it. All right, so there you have it. That was our trip out to the Halloween Tribute Store at Universal Studios Florida. It was really neat. I like that you could follow a story in each different room, and each room had a different final character, like a final monster in it. And I like that you could follow the Curator around. He was kind of like there as your host for each individual area. He was at the beginning, at the end. It was neat. And I also like that we got a little bit of Halloween Horror Nights history in there. It's a very cool tribute store. Not to mention, there is like delicious treats in there and some fun merchandise as well. So, all in all, a fantastic day. And with that being said, we are off. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
Hi, my name's Caitlin and I'm from the UK.
Hi, I'm Summer, I'm from the UK as well.
And now it's time to pay the price.